Kodak stole instant photography. A court proved it. A judge ordered Kodak out of the market entirely and handed Polaroid $909 million. Polaroid still went bankrupt. How does a company win the biggest patent case of the century and lose everything anyway? This is significantly wrong. The Polaroid v. Kodak lawsuit, filed 1976, decided 1985-1990, resulted in a major win for Polaroid. In 1985, a court found Kodak infringed Polaroid patents and ordered Kodak to exit the instant photography market entirely, which it did in 1986, recalling cameras. In 1990, Polaroid was awarded approximately $909 million in damages, reduced from an initial $1.65 billion claim. This was a landmark victory for Polaroid, not a loss. The script's central thesis, that Polaroid got nothing, is factually wrong. How does the inventor of an entire industry walk away with nothing? Go back to 1972. Edwin Land is standing on a stage in San Francisco. He is 63 years old. He is holding a camera. He presses a button. A photograph slides out, fully developed. In 60 seconds, the crowd does not know what to do with what they are seeing. It sells out within days. The SX70, Polaroid's masterpiece, retails for $180. That is roughly $1,300 in today's dollars, and people pay it without hesitation. Polaroid owns something almost no company ever owns. It owns a category, not a product, a category. By 1978, Polaroid is generating $1.4 billion in annual revenue. It holds over 180 patents on instant photography. Its film margins are extraordinary. Every camera sold meant years of film purchases. Locked-in Edwin Land is not just a businessman. Steve Jobs called him one of the two people who most influenced his life. That is the height. Now meet the company that was watching Kodak Rochester, New York. They have been the dominant force in photography since 1888. George Eastman built an empire on film. By the early 1970s, Kodak controls 90% of the US film market. They are not afraid of Polaroid. They are interested in Polaroid. And there is a difference. Kodak's internal researchers begin studying instant photography in 1969. 3 years before the SX70 launches, they are watching Land's patents carefully. They are mapping the legal perimeter. They are asking, where are the gaps? Internal memos from this period show Kodak leadership believed they could develop a competing instant camera without infringing Land's patents. The memo was dated 1971. Polaroid didn't know the clock was already running. What Edwin Land didn't see, or refused to see, was this: Polaroid's entire business model was built on a single assumption, that the patents would hold, that the legal wall was permanent, that no competitor could legally manufacture instant film. Land was a scientist. He believed the patents were inviolable. He believed the law would protect what his genius had created. He was wrong about one of those things. April 1976. Kodak launches its own instant camera, the Kodak EK4 and EK6 instant development peel-apart film, a direct assault on Polaroid's market. The cameras are sold in the same stores, shelved next to Polaroid's products, priced to compete Kodak's marketing budget. In 1976 is $750 million total. They are not playing Polaroid sues. Immediately, April 26, 1976, the lawsuit is filed in federal court in Boston. Polaroid v. Kodak. It becomes one of the longest patent trials in American history. Edwin Land is certain he will win. His legal team is certain. The patents are strong. The infringement seems obvious. What nobody tells Land clearly enough is this: certainty is not a litigation strategy. Meanwhile, Kodak is selling cameras. Fast, by 1978, Kodak has captured roughly 25% of the instant photography market. They sell 16.5 million instant cameras between 1976 and 1985, 16.5 million units. While the lawsuit crawls through the courts, while Polaroid's lawyers file briefs, while Edwin Land waits for justice, Kodak is printing money using his invention. Now we arrive at the decision, the one that turns a business dispute into a catastrophe. And it starts not with Kodak. It starts inside Polaroid. Edwin Land makes a call in the late 1970s that his board does not fully understand until much later. He decides to bet Polaroid's future on a single product. Not instant film, not incremental improvements, something else entirely. He calls it Polavision. An instant movie system. You film, you develop, in 90 seconds. No projector needed. Land believes it is the next SX70. He commits Polaroid's resources to it. The development cost reached $68 million. He presents it at the 1977 shareholder meeting. With total confidence, the board applauds. The problem? Consumers don't buy it.
It launches as home video is exploding. VHS Betamax Polavision offers 90 seconds of silent color. Film VHS offers 2 hours with sound. Polavision is discontinued in 1979. The write-off is 68 million. Land resigns from Polaroid in 1982. He is 72 years old. He leaves the company he founded in 1937. He never works there again. The man who invented instant photography is gone before the verdict in his own lawsuit arrives. Sit with that. October 11th, 1985, Judge Raya Zobel of the U.S. District Court in Boston rules in Polaroid's favor. Kodak infringed on 7 Polaroid patents, 7 of them. The ruling is unambiguous. Kodak must stop selling instant cameras and film immediately. They have 16 million customers who now own cameras that cannot be legally serviced. The recall is immediate. Kodak exits the instant photography market entirely. But here is where it turns. Polaroid now goes to court for damages. They want $12 billion. The logic is straightforward. Kodak operated illegally for 9 years. They took market share that belonged to Polaroid. The profits should be returned. What the legal team does not account for? Proving $12 billion in lost profits is extraordinarily difficult. You must prove what you would have sold without the competition, hypothetically, in a market that may not have existed at that scale. It is almost impossible to prove. October 12, 1990. Judge Zobel awards Polaroid $5 million. Not $12 billion, $5 million. Polaroid's legal fees over 14 years, $150 million. Net recovery, approximately $759 million, and Kodak appeals. They negotiate the final settlement, reached in 1991, is $925 million in total. But here is what that number means in context. Kodak had generated revenues from instant photography estimated at over $5 billion between 1976 and 1985. The penalty was roughly 16% of what they earned. Was justice served, or was the fine just a licensing fee paid retroactively? The $925 million does not save Polaroid. The company takes the settlement and tries to pivot. Digital photography is coming. They can see it. Management understands the threat, but Polaroid's business model requires film sales. Digital cameras require no film. The entire revenue structure is incompatible with the future. Every sale of a digital camera is a permanent customer. Lost by 1999, Polaroid's debt reaches $950 million. Settlement money is gone. The film market is collapsing October 12, 2001, exactly 11 years after the landmark damages ruling. Polaroid files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Total assets: $1.6 billion total debt. $948 million. Thousands of employees lose their jobs. Their pension funds, $47 million in retirement savings, are eliminated in the restructuring. The workers who built Polaroid's cameras by hand, for decades, lose everything they were promised. Gary DiCamillo. He became Polaroid's CEO in 1995. He was brought in to save the company. He focused on brand extensions, watches, sunglasses, merchandise. He moved production offshore. He cut costs. He believed Polaroid could survive as a brand without being a technology company. He was wrong. DiCamillo left in 2001 before the bankruptcy filing. He received compensation packages valued at approximately $12.08 million during his tenure. The pension fund that was eliminated held $47 million for workers who had no such exit. Edwin Land died on March 1, 1991. He was 81 years old. He did not live to see Polaroid go bankrupt. He did not see digital cameras replace everything he built. He died knowing he had won the lawsuit, that Kodak had been proven wrong, that his patents had held. He died thinking the company would survive. The man who once held 535 patents, second only to Thomas Edison, died believing the story had a different ending. Here is the pattern, not the moral. The patent companies that invent categories focus on protecting the invention. They build legal walls. They fight battles in court. And while they fight, competitors move the market. Kodak didn't win because they were better. They won time. 9 years of market time. The lawsuit was correct. The verdict was correct. But time spent litigating is time not spent adapting. By the time Polaroid collected, the check arrived in a burning building. Winning a patent war, while losing a technology war, is not victory. It is a very expensive, very slow form of defeat. The lesson is not that patents don't matter. The lesson is that protecting yesterday's invention is not the same as building tomorrow's business. And every company that has ever confused those two things has eventually learned what Polaroid learned, just usually without a camera to document the moment. Next week, how Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix for $50 million.
and the executive who said no is still alive to talk about it. Subscribe. You'll want to see this one.